Hello, welcome to another video on the Scouring Early Access. Today's game is going to be a 1v1 ranked match on the Reforged game mode. And it's going to be me, the Perfect Gamer, against my enemy, Patrick. I spawn on the bottom here as the Black Orc player. And this time I was pretty much thinking of doing the Cena, or I call him John Cena, build order, where I try to produce archers and berzerkers. Now here my enemy, Patrick. Looks like he's going to be doing a double barracks build order. So probably going to be spamming out auto warriors, because you can't really make anything else. But of course, with that reduced amount of resources you have in the beginning, I can't really start my production right away, because I need specific buildings to start producing archers from a barracks and then producing berzerkers from a smithy. So I guess this might be a little bit of a, risk you can take, where you don't really make many units. You just want to prepare to eco logging camp so you can start making archers. Maybe make us forge to make more berzerkers. So in the meantime, we can see here my enemy is already producing units, and from 2 buildings at the same time, which by now is going to be outnumbering me very easily. But I guess trade-off is I'm going to be able to have slightly more tactical different units, I guess, instead of a single tactic unit. So I can see here, started making archers and berzerkers, and then of course occasionally making some workers, because I was trying to keep it at 16 out of 16 workers here. You can see here, by the time I'm moving out here to try and clear some wolves, my enemies already cleared these goblins, get a few levels, and you're just pumping out even more warriors. I guess that's just a little different balance now, where spamming the first unit you unlock from barracks is a little easier, which I guess promotes this kind of playstyle, making auto warriors, or if you were human, you'd spam out auto archers. And here, just as I start clearing some wolves here, my enemy already cleared this camp. There's even more units coming here. So I started to try and level up more of my units while getting some farms. But I guess here it's a little interesting. For some reason my enemy decides to go past my units to try and maybe kill this troll here at this gold mine. I guess maybe in a way to deny it from me, but I'm not really sure why. Would have been more effective to just annoy my small army instead, I guess, but to each their own. And here I just left a single wolf so they can replenish in case I want to kill some more of them to gain some extra gold. Here I do remember seeing the warrior going north here, but I thought it was a single scout, and I only now find out that there's a good amount of warriors here. So here I decide to fight a little bit, because I do have more units here in this exact position, but overall my enemy does have more units overall. But as we can see here, so it'll, I guess, balance somehow, because a lot of his warriors are leveled up, and most of my units have very low health. And I guess pretty easy way to find out the difference here is that a level 1 warrior here, he has 160 health. And pretty much a level 1 archer with the health of a level 1 berserker, you only have 150 health combined. So 100 health on the berserker and then 50 on the archer, so 150, which overall a single warrior has way more health than 2 of these units. So that's why I found out here the hard way that I have less health overall, and I need a very big, I guess, numerical advantage to even fight a warrior spam, I guess. But here the enemy decides to go to my front of my base, which I have more units here, which is why I'm somewhat, I guess, trading relatively evenly here. But even though you can see here I still very close to losing some units because of a big health difference between these 2 units. But I eventually do run them down because this little new knockback that the Berzerkers have, which makes fighting very few units very, I guess, cost effective, because you interrupt them from doing their attacks and then from running away effectively. I guess over here I'm starting to get a tier 2, because I did realize that my archers were doing total damage. I believe it's around 6 or 8 damage per shot, which is very similar to a warrior doing 6 damage when he does his basic attack on level 1. And so getting the archer upgrade is going to allow my archers to do maybe a third more damage than they usually do. And for some reason, the Lich decided to spawn here, which is why I was able to, I guess, take care of him. And of course, I added another barracks, and I guess I learned from my little experience here of having 2 little health on my units. So I decided to mix in a few warriors into my army, which is going to allow my front line to survive a little longer, which then of course allows all my archers to survive even longer. It allows them to level up and do even more damage than they would without the extra health of the warriors, I guess. And here I guess I managed to get a pretty overwhelming force of units. And with the addition of the knockback, it's just becoming too much for my enemy to handle. Especially with all these extra warriors that I have, which is gonna allow basically have a lot of HP points on a battlefield, which is a major part of battles in the Scouring. If you have more health, then you can basically overwhelm an enemy. But at this point, I guess I just have too much production and too big of an army, so it doesn't really matter how many units the enemy makes at this point. And here I was making a second base and just pumping out more units that I would eventually send for front. And I guess the workers are pretty useful with their bow ability, but when units become level 2 or level 3, that's when the workers struggle to kill them. They can be easily overwhelmed by just a lot of level 3 warriors. As we can see here, all of my archers are level 3 now, which makes them very powerful, especially against level 1 units who have no armor. And because archers also do, I guess, more damage overall, because all the units have very little armor values with this newer, I guess, version. And there you have it. Basically managed to kill my enemy, even though he had more units at one point in the game. And I guess using the little combo, whatever you call it, strategy of having all the berserkers and all the archers, which can be somewhat effective against lower number of warriors that I managed to pick off from my enemy. Anyways, if you liked the video, you can leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to see more videos on the Scouring Early Access, then you can subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.